Almost 20 years after the end of apartheid, we visited 4 high schools in King Williamstown in the Eastern Cape of South Africa: Isho High School, Dale College Boys High School, ZK Matthews High School, and Funiwe Senior Secondary School. These schools demonstrate how school desegregation and funding equalization alone has not been enough to ensure that all students receive an equal education and achieve equal academic success. We believe this to be largely due to the lasting effects of apartheid on the families in King Williamstown area, most of whom are Black. Affected factors such as home environment, teacher quality, and school culture are the largest indicators of whether or not a student and a school as a whole will be successful. Until 1994, all aspects of life in South Africa were segregated under apartheid, including education. Unlike segregation in the United States, separate in this case did not also have to be equal. Facilities and resources for whites were of a much better quality than those for non-whites. Spending per pupil was also extremely unequal. In the 1982 school year, the average spending per student was 1,211 rand for whites, 771 for Indians, 498 for coloreds, and 146 for blacks. The spending per pupil for Black students was only 12% of the spending for whites. In 1994, apartheid ended, and in 1996, the South African Schools Act was passed. This act repealed any and all forms of apartheid schooling, including completely removing Bantu education, the system that had been in place to educate Black students under apartheid. The South African Schools Act was designed to create an equal and standardized school system, and it would do this by completely desegregating all schools and providing all public schools with equal funding. High school academic achievement in South Africa is based almost exclusively off of matric test scores. Every South African student will take their matric exams at the end of grade 12, one for each subject they are studying. Each student's success is factored into the overall pass rate of the school, the percentage of matric students that pass their exams each year. Schools are also each assigned into a quintile, 1 through 5, which is based off of the wealth of the school and how much it costs to go there. This can help indicate the socioeconomic status of the students that go to a school. There was a clear positive correlation between socioeconomic status and matric pass rates. In 2014, 82.6% of Eastern Cape students in 5th quintile schools passed, whereas only 58.7% of students in 1st quintile schools passed. However, there are also exceptions to this rule. For example, Funiwe is a 3rd quintile school, so its students pay no fees to attend, yet it had an 89.7% pass rate in 2014. And ZK Matthews is a 5th quintile school, but its pass rate in 2014 was 22.7%. The schools we visited gave a clear picture of what makes schools successful and unsuccessful, and how schools can overcome their challenges to ensure high achievement.
A major factor that contributes to student achievement in South Africa is a student's home environment and location. Some students in low socioeconomic status households are the heads of their house, or they live with a grandparent and have to take care of their siblings, not leaving enough time in the day to complete their homework. Sometimes the students are the only one in the household that can bring in steady income.
Those who drop out, I would say they are in the lower grades, grade 8 and 9, because of pregnancy and nothing else. Because in grade 12, our matrics, whether they do get pregnant because it's a way to earn something, because once you have a baby, the government is going to give you a sponsor, which we call grants for your child. So most of our grade 8 and 9 are sort of in a subtle way are encouraged to get pregnant by the elder people in the family, because if, let's say, we have a whole family that is not working, they only rely on the younger kids to get pregnant to get grants from the government, and that grant will buy food for everyone in the family. So it is in a subtle way, but it is happening.
In other cases, parents who never finish school themselves are simply not able to help students with their homework. And the students cannot stay after school long enough to get help from their teachers because it is too dangerous to leave late.
My area, not all parents are learned, not all parents are enlightened. So they are not able to help. Because one problem in my school is the learners that stay with the grandmothers. The parents are working for us, for you, for whoever. They are employed in different types of jobs, you see. So now, how will an old lady knows she is not learning it herself? So whatever we do at school, the parent does not know. But some, they do understand what is taking place, although they can't help the child. So they could see that the child is not doing what is expected. Some do come to school to say to us, I've noticed this, that. Is this the way this is done?
During our interviews, we found that many students had to go through various challenges when commuting to school each day. ZK and Funiwe are rural schools, and Dale and Bisho are urban schools. The students at rural schools face distinct challenges. For example, some students walk up to 16 kilometers per day to and from school.
Here as in Campus, we come across very difficult challenges at school, as in every day. Every day is a very difficult day because we live in an isolated area, we live in rural areas, so it's kind of difficult. Everything for us is difficult because it's not easy. Like the homes we come from are very different, and when we come to school, the first challenge is the late coming of the learners. That's the challenge, because when you come late, they disturb some of us who are already in class, and we want to concentrate on our studies, but they disturb us. And the other thing, we deal with drugs here at school every single day. There are drugs. And the third one, it's hard for us to stay for afternoon classes. Even if we want extra classes, we can't because we walk home. So when we walk home, the road is very dangerous. In fact, every week, there's a story of rape. Some get stabbed, and some even fight. We fight with our own selves on the way home. So it's very difficult at school, but we try our best.
How are students expected to do well in school when they can't go to school because of the risks they face on the way? The issue of transportation was addressed at Funiwe, another rural school. The government provides students at Funiwe with a bus service because many students live much further away than at any other school we visited, and they do not have any access to public transportation. Additionally, the school itself provides its metric students with a program to help them through their exam.
2011, we had our lowest in the matrix, it was 56%. 2012, we got 86%. 2013, 96%. 2014, it was 90%. I'm happy to tell you the strategies that we used to try and move from 56% to the 90s. We decided that our matric are going to stay in and sleep here. This is not a boarding school, sleep here at school. We organized mattresses. We said the kids do not have enough time to study at home. They are being disturbed. It's either they are being disturbed, there is no quiet place because the huts are small, or there is no food. So we decided as the SMT school management team with the teachers that our kids are going to sleep here at school. We organized mattresses, and then we cooked for them, the aunties cooked for them, and we said there's only one thing that we have to do in this premises. This space is for studying and nothing else. Your worries that are happening in your family, they are none of your business. Whatever that is happening out of these premises, it's none of your business. Your business is to study, and they did that, and it has been working wonders for us.
This not only gives the students extra time to study, but it completely eliminates the worries of leaving after normal school hours and not having the security of the bus to keep them safe on their way home. This also drastically increased Funiwe's pass rates. Dale and Bisho students do not have to worry about this issue that ZK Matthews students face when going to school. One student lived right on campus in a hostel, and another student took a taxi to school.
He's from Boston. Well, I come from East London every day, so that's like a mission and one, like if I could say, because I used to catch a taxi by the Linda Baptist Church, and then from there to town, and then I'd like jog up to school. That would keep me fit for rugby. I would get like a heads up before practice.
Well, I live at a hostel at the moment, right? I used to live, hostel is like close to school, so it's not just like a 2-minute walk to and from school.
Students at schools such as ZK who come from less privileged backgrounds are less likely to be able to afford these accommodations.
It is hard for students to learn without high-quality teachers. Teaching used to be known as a noble profession, but now students express no desire to become teachers.
Okay, as a teacher here in South Africa, we all have a dream. Most students have a dream to be rich, to have money. So as a teacher, I don't see it. When you're a teacher, you actually have to do something else on the other hand. For example, if you're a single parent, you're a teacher, you actually suffering, in the essay, because teachers don't pay that much money. Don't get paid much money, in the essay. So maybe let's say if you're a doctor or something, you actually settle down. You actually have money to provide your children and buy stuff for them. Because children out there have wants, and needs. They actually want maybe a PlayStation or something. So as a teacher, you actually don't afford that. You have to pay a house, pay rent or something. So the money just goes there.
Now there is a major shortage of quality teachers, which allows for overcrowded classrooms and forces teachers to instruct students in subjects they may not be familiar with. Additionally, some subjects may simply be cut from the curriculum if there is no one to teach it. The standardized curriculum has changed repeatedly, including the change from CAPS to the current NSC within the last 5 years. This leaves teachers scrambling to adhere to new standards and textbooks, and can leave students feeling as though their teachers are unprepared. Some older teachers have even been teaching since Bantu education was in place, and are still teaching with little to no retraining. Teacher attitudes can also affect how the students approach their learning. We heard multiple accounts where teachers do not show up to class, expect students to teach themselves if they are struggling, and even where students feel as though they are more prepared than their teachers.
Yes, I would say some teachers are struggling. Some teachers are struggling. They are really struggling. We even ourselves, some of us, we can do it better than them. We can say that the teacher is struggling here and maybe you can help him or her, but as you know, teachers of our school will never know that.
However, we also heard many positive things. At Funiwe, teachers clearly take pride in their jobs and often stay after school to help children that are struggling. Students at every school were quick to name a favorite teacher who they said helped them and was very enthusiastic. Many teachers take on additional roles in order to support their students. They become parents, counselors, or friends to the students to provide them with the support they may not have at home. One teacher describes taking her students to the local clinic if they're sick, because she knew that was the student's only option. Students can help one another catch up from missed days, but teachers play an integral role in ensuring that every student is prepared and supported at school.
A school's culture is something that factors directly into student achievement. A positive or negative school culture is determined by how well administrators, teachers, and students get along, and how well they work together for the betterment of the students. The schools we visited had very unique cultures, and it became apparent to us as we interviewed students and teachers that academic achievement was highest where the school culture was positive. Bisho High School and Funiwe Secondary School exemplified positive school cultures, and their students' academic success reflected just that. Fighting among students and other disciplinary issues can foster negative school culture. Mr. Shlolo Kiva, an English teacher at Bisho, described to us the ways that the administration at Bisho handles disciplinary issues.
There's what we call loose couple relationship. You must, where you have to attack the problem, not the person. So that is the general approach that we use in the school. From the management and the learners, loose coupled approach, because I have to tell you if you are wrong, you have to tell me, and I should not take that personally.
Funiwe's positive school culture was evident when we visited classrooms full of attentive and excited students. Gloria Peliso, a psychology teacher and school counselor at Funiwe, talked to us a lot about why she thought her students were doing so well. She stressed the fact that the majority of students at Funiwe come from very poor homes, and to them, a quality education is a means for improving their lives and their families' circumstances.
Yes, they are doing very well. And as we know that the area in this area, the people from this area are from the poor background, but we do our best because they know that education is their way out of poverty. It's the attitude of the teachers, teamwork of the teachers, support from the parents, having the same vision with the parents, and also the kids themselves willing to do their best because they know that education is their ticket out of poverty.
ZK Matthews Senior Secondary School did not reflect the same positivity as Bisho and Funiwe. The students we interviewed spoke openly about a number of different outside factors making life at ZK very difficult. However, within the school, one of the main factors hindering the positivity and energy one might associate with high school students was the teachers' apathy towards the struggles that their students face. Sisanda, a matric student, discussed with us some of her teachers' apathetic attitudes and their lack of responsibility to their students.
At the school sort of try their hardest to handle them, or is it out of their control as well?
I think it's out of their control because we report the incidents, but there's nothing that's been done about it.
Dale College sets a particularly interesting example when looking at its school culture. One might rightly think that a school with such a rich history of academic success and the resources to give its students the best opportunities, the culture among students and teachers would be very positive. However, students' focus on academics seem to be declining at Dale in recent years, and this is reflected by statistics showing that Dale's matric exam pass rate has fallen from nearly 100% in years past to around 70% today. Two of the students we talked to at Dale saw the school's emphasis on sports and other extracurricular activities as one reason for this decline in academic achievement.
Like after school, there's actually like nobody. Like there's like a few people in the classes, right? And maybe it's like a teacher would have said to a specific group that you must come to my class after school to do some extra work or something. Then that will be the case, right? But then people are most of the time at the fields. Right? We have a computer room.
Yeah, there's those people that actually like what he's trying to say, that there's people so much busy with sport that there's some people who are studying. Like there's a lot of people playing sport, and then the other people are just bookworms, and then the bookworms will stay in class, and then the sport guys will go to the fields, to the gym, and various other places. Yeah.
It is clear that a student's home environment, their teachers, and their school's culture are all crucial factors in their overall success. We think that improving only one of these factors in a school would not be enough to raise a student achievement. All three are necessary for improvement. Funiwe is an example of a school that, knowing nothing about it besides its students' demographics, would be expected to be a low-achieving school. However, their teachers' dedication and commitment to transmitting positive school culture, along with the school's efforts to go above and beyond in overcoming students' obstacles at home, have made it an extraordinarily successful school. If other schools are able to take similar initiatives, we believe it would benefit their students immensely.